There's a chapter in my book where I talk about how every man at some point should own a motorcycle in his life. You just bought a BMW R1000 RR. I was actually looking at that bike earlier this year. I was thinking, oh man, I miss bikes. I want to get another one. I'm also looking at V-Rod, night rods. I don't fucking know where I'm going to get, where I'm going to store it. I just miss bikes.
For sure, man. I get it.
Does that resonate with you? Do you think a man should own a motorcycle at some point in his life? Yes or no? And explain why.
Yeah, I think if you can sit on the toilet and think, because most men do think on the toilet. So let's sit on the toilet and they'll think. Imagine that same experience, but doing it on a motorcycle where nobody can say anything to you, and just viscerally your body, I don't know if that's even the proper word to say, but your body does something that you can't control. When you have that acceleration pulling you back all the time and you are in full control, yes, 100%. And that dose of danger, it's a whole different game. You feel in control. There's nothing that you can. Also, the other part of it is cost, right? To get into the cost of a motorcycle is a lot cheaper. Now, this BMW is fairly expensive from a bike perspective, but you can get any cheap bike to get in. The problem is that you still have to have maturity before you get behind the wheel. So even though you're behind the bike, and every man should have a bike for sure, there still needs to be some level of maturity, because your life and death is right here. And that's really how you should run your life, right? You should run your life almost a life and death. You should always be in like a mature, controlled environment in your mind. Like your whole space has to be mature, but you have to take risks, and you have to do it from a cost-effective standpoint. And that's what motorcycles do. They put you in a cost-effective space where you can get that, the adrenaline, the acceleration, the cost of fuel. Maybe insurance is a little bit of a different factor, but it'll give you it, and also makes you somewhat cool. I mean, you have all those pieces by getting a motorcycle. It'll automatically give you that coolness. You don't have to go shop for the perfect shirt. You can just get on a motorcycle and you automatically feel cooler. It's the dumbest thing, but it's that's how we feel. How I've always personally felt,
Yeah, I agree.
And the other thing about motorcycles, man, is it puts you in a community that's smaller with risk takers. It's crazy to say. People that are generally on motorcycles. Now, I will say, obviously, you get on more of a comfort, a luxury, a Harley. It's still a community for sure. Maybe a little bit less risk taking, but nothing feels like open air life. It's like the convertible vibe, right? It's a convertible vibe. It makes you feel committed to it. So I'll quickly just end this with this, is that when I knew my son was being born, I said, I'm done. I'm not driving a motorcycle. It's too dangerous. I'm worth too much money. I'm too valuable to lose off this planet, and I do not want to hurt this body. Now my son is 12. He's an adult. I've coached him the best way I could as a man, but also understanding how to be humble, how to care, but always be driven. But for me right now, I feel like, man, I'm at this pace in my life where I still want that adrenaline. I do have fast cars. I do have great other experiences around me, but I feel like a motorcycle just is like one little tick on my mind, where I feel like I was always into bikes and now I'm bringing it back. So call it what you want. Midlife crisis, call it like, hey, he's got the freedom to do it. But when I was married, I just felt like I just didn't need to do it. But now I'm super grateful that my ex left me. I'm like, yes, she left me. I'm free to do what I want. I still had freedom, but now it's like my own controlled freedom, right? It's like that comforting food that I'm by myself and I'm my own man. And I feel like, man, there's nothing more in the world than your own man.
You only know when when you put your leg over that machine and strap on the helmet and you twist the throttle with your right hand. Those that know, those that don't, they just think it's too dangerous and it's a wrong recommendation. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.